What's up, everybody? Today in the shop I have this 2009 Mercedes C300. Beautiful red color. The issue that we're going to try to fix today is that the headlights don't work. The turn signals work, the little strip light works, the low beams do not work, the high beams do work. So first thing I did was I just checked the bulbs. Obviously, to get to the bulbs in this car is very easy. Right here, you just twist this off and you'll be able to see the bulb in there. And I found a completely broken light bulb. Like, this glass is completely broken, and so I got this LED replacement. Now what I didn't know is that this is one of those CAN bus cars and it doesn't like LED lights. It's looking for a specific resistance. So what happened is that when I went to turn on the lights turn on for a second, turn back off, turn on, off. Did this a few times and it decided it doesn't want to work. Now when it's turning on and off like that, it's just the SAM module, so basically the fuse box, testing the lights to see if they're present, if it's the proper resistance value, and if it's not within the spec of what it's looking for, it'll disable them and it'll set a code. So now the lights don't work, obviously, because you can see. Sorry, that's the high beam. Let me actually go to the low beam right here, so you can see I got the LED installed in there, and obviously it's not gonna work because your car's not happy with the resistance. So what I did, I checked the connector here. I was just to make sure everything is proper, and that was fine. But then I saw these wires. Now obviously these headlights are aftermarket. This is not what the car came with. But I saw these wires right here, right? These extra wires just dangling. And I had to see what it is. I see this little box right here. And then I saw one more thing. Let me see if I can grab it. It was all the way down here. Take a look at this. Covers missing. It's like disintegrated. This is a resistor box. So what people do is when they want to run LED headlights on these cars that are picky about it, they'll wire these resistors in parallel with the LEDs. That way the car sees a higher resistance value and it thinks that a halogen light's installed, and it'll allow it to run. So this car has slots for, or this light bulb assembly has slots for 2 of these resistors. And so when you put these, the headlights should work. Now the issue is obviously these resistors are pretty much done for. So I have these resistors in stock. These are 12 volt, 12 ohm, I believe. So pretty much the same spec as those are supposed to be. And I'm going to try to wire these in and see if that resolves our issue. If it does, we'll wire these in permanently. And I also want to do some testing on that broken one versus the good one that we saw down there. So let's do that. Alright, so I got my multimeter set to ohms, and I'm just gonna go across the 2 terminals of the one that we suspect is bad. Actually, we could take our reading right here. 12 ohms. Right around. And then we could take our reading at the connector too, just make sure the resistors are continuous. 12 ohms, perfect. So this actually works, even though it's like super crusty. This thing is actually fine. Now I want to test the good one that's in the car. So this is the good one. This is the wiring for it. They like adhesive or glued it down, so I can't pull it out. But I'm just gonna go across the terminals of this, and that's an open circuit. I'm touching the terminals. Okay, so the one that looked good is the one that's bad, and I don't know if you could see, but it's kind of crusty in that connector, so that's interesting. I'm gonna go ahead and get the new one wired in now, and we'll see what happens. And before I install it, we'll get a reading on the new one too. Perfect, 12 ohms. Alright, so here's the setup. I snipped the connector off of the bad resistor, and I also tested it here. It's still open circuit, and I kind of twisted that around the new resistor and I connected it, and then one of the old good resistors I plugged in. So both resistors are plugged in now. We still have our LED light installed. I think, I don't know. I might have took the LED out, replaced it with a halogen. Oh yeah, that is a halogen. Okay, let me go get an LED light and then install that, and then we'll test this. Alright, so here's the LED I'm installing. It has a little fan on the back. Just some cheap Amazon LED. And then just gotta plug it in and put it into the socket. There you go, just like that. Alright, so now everything's connected. I'm gonna go in the car. I believe we probably have to clear out the codes because when it sets codes, it completely disables the circuit. But let's go ahead and do that and test this. Alright, so I'm connected to the car front SAM module. We read the fault codes. Right standing light 1 has a malfunction. Right front turn signal. These are current codes. So let's go ahead, clear the fault codes out. And you can see the headlight switch is set to off. So let's clear the codes out before we test anything. Alright, it's asking me to switch off the ignition. Wait 10 seconds. 10 seconds, turn on ignition. Clear fault memory completed. So read fault code, no faults, clean slate. Let's turn on the headlights. And let's go check it out. So you could see the side is doing the little testing sequence thingy. It just turned on. There you go, turn on and off. Now what about this side? Oh no, it's completely off. Okay. Well, looks like we still got more testing to do. Alright, back in the car, read the codes. Left low beam, right low beam, right standing light 2. So it's short or open is what it's saying. Actually I want to check the connector for that light. I might have left it unplugged. Let me go check that real quick. Alright, so yeah. Okay, that's my stupidity. Now that's plugged in. Let's go clear the codes again and then see what happens. Alright, codes cleared. Let's read them. No faults. Alright, let's try that again. Lights on. I'm expecting the left one to throw errors, but let's go check the right one. So left one. Right one. Uh-oh. Strip is working good now, but this is still not happy. What is going on? I'll let it finish its testing. We'll go see if it threw a different code or if it's saying the same thing. Alright, so reading fault codes. Now you could see we only have one code for the right side. It's just the low beam. The standing light no longer has a malfunction like the left side still does. So at this point, I want to go switch that broken, like that messed up resistor for one of my green ones. Maybe, you know, even though it did show 12 ohms, maybe it's not working. So let's go try that. Let's see what happens. Alright, so got both of the green resistors wired up to both of the connectors. I noticed this one was getting warm, and then this one, I didn't feel anything on it, so maybe it's not up to the task. We'll see. Let's go back in the car. Let's try the headlights now. Alright, ignition on. We'll read the fault codes. I already cleared it out, so no faults. Headlights on, and let's see what happened. So this side's obviously doing that. And oh no, still not working. Okay, so we're gonna have to diagnose this further. I'm starting to wonder, are these wires continuous with the headlights? So we could test that. Alright, so I got a multimeter hooked up to the resistor terminals. This one was showing 10 volts and it's, oh wow, that's very warm. Okay. We're gonna go turn on the lights and see what happens to this one. Well, if they turn back on, now they might be disabled. But let's see. So yeah, you could see that's not even doing its sequence anymore. So we gotta clear the codes again and try that. Alright, codes clear. I forgot to turn those off, but let's go check now. Alright, so that turned on, but we didn't have any voltage there. So it seems like between this connector and the actual headlight, there is no continuity. I could remove the connector and check it that way. So I'm gonna do that real quick, but it seems like we have to take this headlight apart and diagnose it there. Alright guys, so I did some more diagnosing, and what I found out is that the red and black wire, when you hook up a resistor to that, that one goes to this little eyebrow light, the little strip. The yellow and black wire, that one does not go to the low beam headlight like I thought it was. It goes to the turn signal that's above this strip. So this headlight is not wired to have a resistor on the low beam or high beam headlights. They kind of expect you to use a headlight a headlight bulb that's compatible with the car. So I've been going down this kind of rabbit hole of trying to diagnose why this isn't working, just because of my own stupidity. I bought aftermarket light bulbs, tried to install them into an aftermarket light housing, and it led down to a rabbit hole. So the way I determined that is I just hooked up my multimeter here while the resistor was connected, and then I used my scanner to bidirectionally turn on and off each light. And then the one that I saw voltage on, that's the one that it was hooked up to. So for turn signal, I saw voltage here, and then for the DRL, I saw voltage here. So just as a proof of concept, you see this yellow wire right here. This is the stock Mercedes connector coming into this headlight. To this yellow wire, I could hook up a resistor, and then we'll be able to see if this low beam stays on, just as proof of concept, and like in case anybody ever wants to wire in LEDs in the future, you guys will know what to do. But I think I'm just gonna grab some halogens and call it a day for this one. Alright, so here's the setup. Got one end of the resistor going into the stock Mercedes harness. That yellow one is the positive feed for the low beam headlight, and then the other side of the resistor going to ground. We're gonna go turn on the headlights, and if my theory is correct, then it should stay on. Alright, so this side halogen, obviously the car likes that. And this side, as you could see, staying on. No more of that testing stuff. It's perfect. So yeah, we were right from the beginning. The diag was right from the beginning. Just these two pinouts were wrong. So I was kind of confused there, but you can see the concept works. This is going to get very hot. Make sure you guys use a properly rated resistor. But yeah, that's it. We're going to go back in with halogens. This car is going to work perfectly fine. I'm going to wire the resistors, or connect the resistors back to the locations where they went, so the turn signals and DRLs can work, even though they're working right now. I don't know why it even needs resistors, but yeah, I hope you guys learned something as always. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time.